ground is up.
That's fine.
Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. It's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 26 of the BJJ Campaign Podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3, blue belt, one stripe.
This is Phil Kors, A2, blue belt, no stripes.
My name is Boomer, A2, purple belt, 4.5 stripes.
Yes. Would you give us a little bit of that MC voice that you get for the Toro Cup?
Oh, I can't do that.
Come on, dude. Just give us a little take. Look, you can do like the first match. We've got Vernon Kirk against Chris Luter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toro Cup 13!
Yes. That got Susie off her bed there.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yep.
Okay. How'd you get started with the Toro Cup?
Jeff Shaw. Jeff Shaw started it. Jeff Shaw is the current owner of Bellingham BJJ in Bellingham, Washington. Jeff started training with us maybe 8 years ago. It was when Cageside and Jiu-Jitsu first came together, and Jeff came in, and anyway, so after years of being friends and training partners with Jeff, he came to me with the idea of putting on Jiu-Jitsu super fights, and I wanted no part of it. And he was like, no, it's going to be called Toro Cup. He's like, I'll take care of everything. You don't have to do a thing. And I said, all right, fine. And I did a little bit for Toro Cup 1. Like, we got the shirts ready and some other things. But it was primarily 90% Jeff Shaw. And after the first Toro Cup, I had this incredible high. It was so much fun. I loved it so much that I was like, all right, we got to do Toro Cup 2. And Jeff was so, like, I'm talking about like right after. And Jeff was so worn out after that. He was just like, not so excited. And I did a lot more with Toro Cup 2. Jeff was still very involved. And Toro Cup 3, Jeff was still very involved. And I want to say it was Toro Cup 4 that Bagels joined on. And then Bagels really helped us bring it to another level because he has such an insight of all the grapplers in the area. I mean, he just knows so many of them and just started 100% handling the matchmaking. He's a great matchmaker. He's a great ref along with Sean Zorio at all the Toro Cups.
And I'll say this about Bagels. He is the best hype man in the business. He's every match that he's hyping up. I love it. I love the dynamic between you two whenever you're master ceremonies and he's in there reffing and hyping everything up. It's a great dynamic.
Now, Bagels is terrific. He really is. Good friend, good person to be in business with. We communicate constantly and they're just always bouncing dumb ideas off each other, and some of them, come to fruition. So, all right, next question.
So, talking about the Toro Cup, it's awesome. And, for the listeners out there, we do the Toro Cup is done at Cageside and Toro BJJ. And this Toro Cup 13, has 35 outstanding matches. These crazy good matches. I mean, coming hot out of the gate with Vernon Kirk and Chris Luter. Chris Luter hot off of his win in the
Pan Ams. Yeah.
So it's going to be a great match. I love the comment whenever the matchmaking was done in a shocking twist of events that Vernon Kirk pulls guard. I don't see that going that way. However, but yeah, it's a fantastic thing. And tell us a little bit about, you guys always support a grappler, whether it be local or somebody long distance that's going through troubling times.
That was another thing when Jeff Shaw came to me with Toro Cup. I was like, I wasn't interested in in making money off of it. And he was like, oh, good, we can do it for charity. And I was like, all right, that's great. And he said, all right, we'll do it for Pendergrass Foundation. And I was like, all right, that's great. And we gave 100% of the money to Pendergrass. And I think for Toro Cup 2 and maybe 3, we gave 100%. But then it got to the point where like, all right, we're doing a lot of work. And we had like no sponsors at that point. So we were losing money and putting a lot of work into it. And then we were like, all right, we're going to do 50% of tickets to a charity. And then we've always chosen a pretty good cause. And then like, I love when we can actually give it to an individual, like Hogaboom Karaoke. Like John Shell and Vernon Kirk both messaged me. They were like, can we do a Toro Cup for Ruben? And I was like, yeah. And we did. And like, I can't remember the amount we raised, but I want to say it was $2,300. And I literally handed Ruben $2,300 after the event. And that was awesome because at charities are great, don't get me wrong, and we need them. But there's so many administrative fees with, charities. There's people who work for charities, like the United Way, for instance. I want to say the CEO of the United Way makes $1 million a year, so you got to donate $1 million just to pay for that guy's salary. Whereas if you can, if Jeff Boone is going through a tough time and he's battling something, and we can give him $1,000 to help with his bills, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I love that aspect of it, and that's really something. That's one of the reasons that whenever I talk to Phil about support, and it was a no-brainer. This is our second Toro Cup that we've been involved in, and we'll be involved in any of the rest of them that come up because
awesome.
It's
Thank
super
you.
worthy. But another reason that we wanted to get involved and why it was so important was. And this has come to me more and more lately, watching the pans. Those matches are fucking boring. I'm sorry, man. It's the truth.
Yeah.
There's no submissions. They're going for points and advantages.
Right.
You guys have, in my opinion, you guys at Toro Cup have the best rule set there is,
Thank
which
you.
is submission only.
Yeah.
Right? 15 minutes, submission.
It depends on the match. So,
Depending on- right.
so for blue belts or juveniles, it's 8 minutes, sub only. If there's no submission, we go to a points round, which is usually 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, if we're still tied, you can't win by an advantage. You can't win by a ref's decision. So if we're still tied after that overtime, we go to a sudden death. So first point wins. You get a takedown, you win. You pull guard and you sweep, you win. That's it. So there's never been, like, oh, how was there an advantage there? Or, oh, it was a terrible ref's decision. And it helps push the pace because you're so tired by the end of that submission-only round because purple belt and brown belt, it's 10 minutes. Black belt, it's 15 minutes before you get to that overtime round.
Mm-hmm.
By the time guys get to that overtime round, they have had an adrenaline dump. You see some guys who just dominated the sub-only round but couldn't get the submission, and they get to that overtime round, and man, they're done. They have nothing left in the tank. And this other dude who was just surviving the whole time wins 10-0.
Hey, that's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like Jeff Shaw and Seth Shamp came up with that because we were like, Metamorphs was, at the time, 2006, 2015, 2016, 2015, Metamorphs was just jumping on the scene. It was sort of the first big jiu-jitsu, super matches out there. And they would do 20 minutes sub only, and then it would just be a draw. It was just like, we just watched two guys go at it for 20 minutes, and then it was a draw. And it's just, it was absurd. And we were like, perfect case was when Renzo Gracie went against Sakuraba.
Dominated him.
Renzo dominated him the whole time, and then it was a draw. There's nothing could be more anticlimactic than that. And I was just like, me, Seth, and Jeff were like, no, we can't I don't want that. You want definite winners, but you can't have true sub only, because nobody wants to watch a 3-hour match of two guys trying to submit each other. So you put the time limit on it, and then go to the overtime.
And that's again why I said I think it's the perfect rule set for people who are trying to consume jiu-jitsu, who, you know, they may just got started and they want to look at these matches and they want to see something on Flow Grappling or on YouTube that's interesting. Well, the IBJJF rules aren't, in my opinion, are not interesting.
Right.
They don't make for interesting matches.
There's a lot. I've always said there's a lot going on that I just don't understand. Like, I can't see it. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, those
it's hard
guys.
for me, watching two black belts, they're doing so many things I can't even comprehend. You know,
Right.
so it's not exciting
they're-
like it is when I'm actually doing it.
They're playing the game. A lot of times, I mean, there are some amazing IBJJF matches.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
But
of Hodger Gracie's.
Yeah, sure. Hodger's,
He's not going for a point
No. But, you know, these guys who, you know, they pull guard and, you know, they wind up in 50-50 and they're playing for that advantage, and
Thank
they're
God they took that
so excited to win by an advantage. It's just, it's crazy.
It's terrible, and I would love to see more more different, whoever's putting on the match adopt that rule set.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys kind of shopped it around? Have you guys ever said, hey, new breed, or hey, good fight, do you want to look at this rule set or anything like that?
No, I mean, we have really close ties with U.S. Grappling.
Yeah.
And U.S. Grappling, believe it or not, is the original sub only. I mean, everybody of these other tournaments are.
Just tried to tell us that same thing.
Yeah, they're all trying to say this now, but no, U.S. Grappling really was the first to set up the sub only format, and they're true sub only because that match goes until there's a submission. I mean, there's been matches. DeAndre Corbet and Thurman Green had, I think it was a 90-minute match in Virginia Beach like 3 years ago. It was unreal. And Thurman Green is going against Josh Williams for the Nogi heavyweight title tomorrow.
Yes.
But yeah, and it was, I remember DeAndre so much smaller than Thurman. DeAndre is the lightweight Toro Cup world champion as well.
Unbelievable match with Daniel Frank last time, right?
So
That was
good,
a great
so
match.
good. But DeAndre, he's like this. I don't want to say emotionless, but he's just, man, he just takes care of business. And in that match, after he beat Thurman, there's the video of him. He's just like, yes, like, man.
90 minutes of hell.
Oh, Thurman is tough.
Yeah.
He's a tough dude. So.
Which again, I think that in consuming it, that doesn't make sense, that format. Like, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying U.S. Grappling. U.S. Grappling does an amazing. That was the first tournament I did, right, in Greensboro.
Right.
It was amazing. They do an amazing job. But as far as consuming it, if you were to put that out there for the public,
No.
it's just not the format. I really do think that if, EBI has a decent way of doing it with the getting back control and
Right.
spider web. I think that's interesting, and there's a clear winner. But I really do like what you guys are doing the best.
I like EBI, but to me, it goes into a different game, because there's no point that you start a jiu-jitsu match where you're on somebody's back.
Right.
You
Right.
start jiu-jitsu mats on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we start the overtime, and that's how we start the sudden death.
And guess what? It gives the takedown artist and the guard puller an equal opportunity.
It does, because CJ Murdoch beats Frankie Patches in Toro Cup 2, and CJ doesn't have great takedowns. CJ pulled guard, and it was crazy because Frankie was so close to passing CJ's guard, so close, and then somehow CJ just kept him from passing, and then swept Frankie, and it was nuts. I mean, it was so exciting. It was unbelievable. But yeah, so the guard puller definitely has just as good an opportunity as the as the takedown guy.
Yeah, I said it before, and I just think if ever there was a perfect rule set for what it's doing, the Toro Cup has it.
Thanks,
So,
man. Thank you.
No, that's really good. And from a spectator point of view, I had a really good time with the last one because there's a good mix-up of everything. It runs real smooth. Like, there's not a lot of time in between the matches,
Yeah.
which can get boring. When
Yeah,
you're
we're trying.
at the other ones. It was like, one right after the next. They were all good matchups. And the mix-up of gi and no gi, I totally prefer the gi over no gi,
Right.
100%. But it's fun to watch both. And getting
Sure.
that mixed up and stuff, you see different styles, you see different stuff. For how much I love jiu-jitsu, I'm amazed at how much jiu-jitsu Jeff can sit there and watch. He will sit there for like 6 hours watching competition. I'm fried after
And
a
it's
while.
terrible. I'm sitting there going the whole time. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Why am I sitting here watching them? Like, I can't turn away. It's like staring at a train wreck.
It's
You know?
amazing, but 6 hours or whatever it was here, maybe longer. It flew by. The
Yeah.
last Toro Cup that
I
day flew
love
by. I had a really
Toro
good time.
Cup because it's made up of primarily people that I know or I'm getting to know, and I really like the local scene. I really do. These are people who they're not making money; they're doing it because they want to do it.
Yeah.
They're not like, where's my medal, or I don't know.
Yeah.
They just literally love jiu-jitsu. They love to compete, and this is a great format because all eyes are on one match.
Mhm.
We don't have. It's not like a tournament where we have an estimated time that Joe is going.
It never happens. Ever.
So that if there's little kids on the tournament, the parents know, we're not going to be sitting there for 2 hours before little Jimmy goes. It's just like, all right, Jimmy goes, and then we can leave. So,
Yeah. No, for sure. It runs smooth. And now it's probably going to run even smoother since you got that new high-tech instrument for
Right.
knowing who's coming up on
Right,
the
we
deck.
got a whiteboard, and it's gonna be amazing.
The,
But no, our plan for this one is I've got all of our sponsor ads written out on index cards for this one. So as soon as the match ends, getting the next one going.
Are you going to do them like David Letterman whenever you're done with them? You're just going to fling them out into the audience?
No, because I'm going to repeat them. But that would be awesome. So, and we're just, in the past, we've done one 30-minute break, which always turns into a 45-minute break. But this one, we're breaking up into 3 sessions. So at the end of each session is going to be a world title match. And then right after that, 10 minutes, and that's it. 10-minute break, that's it. So we're just going to keep these matches flowing nonstop. So
And great food at intermission with Clarity Eats.
Clarity Eats is going to be here. They always have great food. The acai bowl, Fruita Bowls is going to be here. And of course, Forte Legato Coffee, the best coffee on the planet, will be here. I Can Hemp is going to be here selling
Weed?
CBD products.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They might be selling weed. I don't know. Whatever. So that's going to be awesome.
Tell me this. I'm going to put you on the spot right
Yeah.
now. I already told you what. Well, it's the second match I'm looking most forward to. Joey Plowler's is the first match. He's one of our training partners.
Right.
Phenomenal. Love training with him. But the second match is Vernon Kirk, Chris Luter. I can't wait for that one. I'm going to put you on the spot and say, and you don't have to pick one match. You can pick 2 matches. So that way, whenever you forget somebody, then they can say, well, you had 2 matches that you pick and you still didn't pick. Son of a bitch.
Like my favorites?
Yeah, which matches are you really like? You look at. I mean, I'm going to put a third in there because anyone that
give me a
DeAndre
few.
Korb is in. I'm all in on that, guys.
Okay,
Or is
so I really like Josh Williams. I love to
Okay.
watch this guy compete. He's really good. He's always exciting and he brings it. I love watching him. I think him and Thurman is going to be great. Gavin Corby. It's Corby.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, and Dylan Martin, that's going to be awesome. Chloe Tomlinson, Bianca Harris is going to be great. There's a lot of great
You
matches.
can't say all 35 matches,
I'm not.
Boomer, all right?
I'm not.
You got 3. I'll give you 2 more.
Kim Rice and
Oh,
Michelle Welty.
See, I left that one off my list.
That's going to
another
be
one.
amazing. And then we got John Piper and Fredson.
How can you
Pajau.
not put that one in there?
That's amazing.
Okay, that's it. You've got no more.
No,
Now,
I do. I got
No,
Else is gonna be
that's
super
5
offended
matches.
because you've listed
Whoa.
quite a few.
it's 5 matches.
Well, I got to say one more.
One more. Oh, yeah, that's good.
That one would be Joe Selecki and Dewan Owens.
Oh, are you
I'm
kidding me,
really excited about this one. Dewan has been one of my closest friends for years. He's 5-0 on Toro Cups, and he's
And one of your training partners, right? I mean,
well, we haven't trained together in a while, but we used to train together a lot. And he's really good. He's very underrated. You know, like I said, he's 5-0 on Toro Cups, and almost everyone people have been like, "Oh, Dewan's gonna lose," and he always manages to find a way to win. Selecki is phenomenal. I mean, Selecki is probably the best no-gi guy that I've ever seen, or jiu-jitsu, not just no-gi. I mean, Selecki is phenomenal. Like, it's unbelievable how good this guy is. So Dwan's got a really big task in front of him, but man,
So who you
anybody
taking
can
to
do it.
win?
I can't.
Who are you taking to win? Come on,
As
bro.
a
Get off the
promoter,
fence.
I cannot.
It's not. We're friends here. We're just on a podcast. It's not,
Do you
it's not a
remember? Do you
promoter.
remember when what was her name? Connie Chung said that to Newt Gingrich's mom. We're just two people talking here. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. That was so long. She got in big time.
She did. She said
trouble for
she
that.
said it's just between us two.
Yeah,
And-
nobody listens to this podcast anyway. Okay, we won't put you on the spot for that.
Okay.
But so when you're training with Dwan, like when Phil and I train, like, we go back and forth. He submits me.
I've never submitted Dwan. Dwan mauls me. I mean, he effortlessly beats the poop out of me. I mean, he's stronger, he's faster, he's more skilled. I mean, he's so good. And when he is in shape, because you never know with Dwan, like, which Dwan's going to show up. Even when he's not in shape, like, I saw him, he beat Ricky Saxton, and Ricky is so good. I mean, he is phenomenal. He beat Ricky Saxton, and I could tell in the first 2 minutes, Dwan was not in shape. The first 2 minutes of that match, I could hear Dwan almost wheezing. I mean, he was breathing so hard, but man, Dwan's he's a Marine, man, and he's got no quit in him, and he somehow managed to pull that match out. It was nuts. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
No, it's super exciting, and just for the listeners out there, we're the day before Toro Cup 13, benefiting Chelsea.
Chelsea McCoy. Chelsea McCoy is a martial artist. She trains at MMA Institute, which is McCoy Martial Arts Institute out of Richmond. Her dad is Rick McCoy, the owner of the gym. And Chelsea is battling bone cancer. And somebody made Bagels and I aware of this, and that was a no-brainer. We were just, yeah, absolutely, we'll do Toro Cup 13 for Chelsea. So any amount that we raise is awesome. We've raised over $21,000 for various charities through 12 Toro Cups, which actually blows my mind. I hear that number and I'm like, we did that? That's amazing.
It is amazing.
So I'm really, I love Toro Cup. I love everything about it. It's just.
Where do you, what would be your ultimate goal with Toro Cup? Where do you see it, or where are you trying to take it to?
That's a really good question, because we have a lot of sponsorship now, which is amazing. But even with all the sponsors that we have expenses, and it doesn't seem like, oh, expenses can't be that high. They add up. Everything adds up, and not even taking into account my time and Bagel's time. Do we make money off Toro Cup? Yes, we do. We are paid for it, but a lot of other people are getting compensation for Toro Cup. And we don't really have overhead like if we were renting a facility. So if you're, place like Metamoris. Everybody's like, how come they weren't paying? Well, because they were really dumb business people, and they were promising out all this money. They had this amazing looking mat set up.
You know he's trying to bring that back, right?
Halleck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Halleck Gracie.
Yeah, he's that's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't know how many threads there are on the internet of people saying
A gajillion.
Yeah, he owes me money.
I don't think he ever paid anyone.
And oh God, he had a great quote out there about it. It was hysterical. It was just like, I'm trying to make money. Why would I give money to them, or something to that effect? I was just like, oh God, it's hilarious. But to answer your question, Phil, yeah, I would love to see Toro Cup get on the road, so we're not always in our warehouse. So if we could find a place in maybe Richmond, Virginia area where we could do it in, say, a high school gym. I don't want to be unrealistic and say, oh yeah, we're going to go to a stadium or something. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. But like a small high school gym would be great, because we get about 300 people in and out through the day at a Toro Cup, and our venue's pretty small, so it looks, at times during the day, it looks really crowded, but you take 300 people and you put them in a high school gym, and it's like, it doesn't look like there's that many people here. And that's, what you see at the bigger events, that there are these places, but there's a lot of empty seats, and it just takes away from the whole vibe
Well,
of
that's
it.
why whenever you do the camera shot, you tighten it up on the mat. You know what I mean? And you show me and Phil as MCs. Listen.
But yeah, I Bagels and I we'd really like to take it on the road. That'd be great. That would be cool for sure.
Well, I think it would be. I think that there would be a lot of interest in that. I think that if you look at, have you thought about like streaming or anything like that? Doing a live stream, a pay-per-view kind of live stream.
We streamed a couple, and they were free, and people were still complaining about the quality of it.
Yeah.
And
That's the internet.
It is the internet.
And I was just like, all right, I don't need to listen to this. We're not streaming anymore.
Hey, assholes, whoever you are out there that complains about the quality on a free jiu-jitsu match, go fuck yourself.
I remember one guy said, it was really funny, he said it looks like it was filmed with a toaster. Which was hilarious.
Except that guy. Except that guy. That was good.
But I would love if we could monetize a stream, and it was a good-looking stream. Somebody would click onto this website that somebody magically created, and they enter in the code for $10 they can watch. But they can't share that code with anybody. Only one person can be logged in at a time, because everybody's like, hey, does anybody have a full grappling account?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's got a full grappling account I can borrow? They're full grapplers trying to make money. My God, pay them whatever they want. They're giving you content.
And it's totally worth it. What is it, $12.99? I think I pay for it $12.99 a month. It's not bad. I mean, I would pay that for sure. And if there's any listeners out there, reach out to Boomer. He's easily accessible. But reach out to him if you've got ideas. And I'm not saying any jackasses out there. I'm saying somebody who actually knows what they're
good
doing.
Ideas.
And knows what they're doing and has proof of concept, not just, I can do this, Because you know what? I mean, we run a professional organization here with our
top
stream
notch
that we're doing here. But I'm not about to say that we're going to put on a Toro Cup event. But I just think it's a great cause, a great event, and best rule set.
I really like what Fight to Win does in that they sell tickets, and then the competitors get money off of that ticket. And I would love to be able to do that, but still be able to raise money for charity at the same time. And I think we could do that, because I don't know how, but it's definitely something I want to look into in the future. Because I know the Fight to Wins are like $30. They put on a really good show.
Yeah, Seth Daniels, right?
Lights,
Seth Daniels.
yeah.
So I guess I wonder how, and I'm just asking because I have no clue,
Right.
but I wonder how that works. Like, I'm sure he's on the hook for the production and the commentating, and then Flow Grappling pays them. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's look it up.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying from a straight spectator point of view, Toro Cup is easily the most entertaining one I've
Oh,
watched. Because
I
I've watched
understand.
the fight to wins and stuff, and probably being here has a lot to do with it. but
Sure.
Last time I was here, I didn't know anybody. You know,
Right.
like I didn't know any of the competitors. I feel like I do. Obviously Samantha, obviously Joey, Vernon. I watched last time, and some of the other ones. I'm sure I'll recognize when I see them.
Right.
But it's for the most part they were all new people. Last time I was here, and I still had a great time just watching the
Yeah.
matches. So I think it. I'm kind of picky, and I complain a lot with what I watch. So I think this is the best format.
Oh,
I think if
thanks,
it got
man.
out there for people to watch, I'm sure people who are into
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu would watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would love that. It would be really cool if we could make it bigger. But there is nothing like going to a live sporting event. In fact, I was telling somebody this 2 days ago. I'm not a hockey fan, but I've been to hockey games. And
Yeah.
when you go to a hockey game, it's amazing.
It's
And I
different.
went to a Stanley Cup. Gosh, it may have been year 2000 when the Carolina Hurricanes were in the first Stanley Cup that they were in. It was game 2, literally the most exciting event I've ever been to. It was electric in there. And you can't get that from watching on a screen or watching on TV. And I really want people to come here. When they come here, they get to we get to socialize. Instead of sitting at home, looking at my phone. You know.
Well, and not only that, but if you think about it, you think about the matches that Bagels is making, it really brings in a hotbed of jiu-jitsu, it brings the Richmond, the Virginia market.
Yeah.
It brings North Carolina. It brings South Carolina. Some people. Well,
We got Tennessee coming in.
Yeah.
We got Fredson Pajau coming in. I don't know where he's from.
No
but-
idea. Brazil.
Yes,
Brazil.
he is from. That's
Yeah.
that's
Brazil.
in fact right.
So that's the longest person.
It's pretty good.
But it really does a good job of bringing that community together. And if you're into jiu-jitsu like Boomer, like Phil, like myself, if you're into jiu-jitsu, man, come to Toro Cup because you're going to have a blast and you're going to meet a lot of great people. And you probably see some of the people if you compete that you compete against. And guess what? You can train with those people. You can meet them here and you can say, man, I'd love to train with you. This would be awesome to do. And so I think it really does bring together that whole. And listen, there's great jiu-jitsu in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina,
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee, all those places. It really is a lot of really
for sure.
good jiu-jitsu. So thanks for that. And so, kind of switching gears from Toro Cup, and again, Phil and I are super excited about it tomorrow. This is a super generic question, but what's your favorite part of jiu-jitsu?
Man, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Phil, start off.
I
What's
would
your
say at this
You-
point, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for. I started in February of 2008 doing.
So 11 years. Boy, you really are a belt chaser, aren't you?
Yeah. So when everybody first starts jiu-jitsu, first several years, they just want to roll. And now I'm to the point where I want to drill because I don't get as much mat time as I would like. I hate when people say this, but I truly am very busy with work. I do CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit coach, and so I try to get into sometimes 3 jiu-jitsu sessions a week, but yeah, drilling the things that I want to drill, the basics over and over. That's what I really like. And then when you get to roll, and then everything starts flowing together. I was thinking about this just the other day. When you're mounted on somebody and they start trying to shrimp escape, and then you immediately go to S mount. It's like you don't even, you've drilled it so many times, you don't even think about it. You just do it. And I love when something like that happens. I don't know.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, we have very few of those, Phil and I. Those moments where it actually comes together. Yeah, on the S mount for you, yes, particularly it might have happened once. But yeah, I mean, for me, my favorite part of jiu-jitsu is like the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood
Yes.
that is shared between all jiu-jiteros. In other words, it doesn't matter where you go, man. If you see someone else, you know, if you're out at Target or whatever, and you see somebody else with a jiu-jitsu shirt on, hopefully a Toro jiu-jitsu shirt
Yes.
on, like we have, and you're like instantly best friends, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my friends, they're always like, you picking up dudes again? You know, yeah, about talking about jiu-jitsu, because we'll talk about jiu-jitsu, and it's one story, Brad from Lucas Leprey School, Brad Barnett.
Yeah,
from
he was on a Toro Cup.
Yeah, from Lucas Leprey. So he was up by my house at this gas station, right? Inside a gas station, he had a Lucas Leprey shirt on. I was like, you do jiu-jitsu? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, we've got an open mat tomorrow. Sunday at 1. He goes, dude, I haven't trained for like 3 days. I was like, really? You want to?
Right, he's a good-looking guy, too.
Good looking guy. Got a girlfriend. Not that I was looking. Beautiful girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about her. I'm more concerned about Brad.
No, he's a handsome fellow. He's a handsome fellow. But and he was like, yeah, man. And he's, you know, those Sundays. How many Sundays now has he been with us on our Sunday rolls?
5 to 10.
Yeah. I mean, so you just meet.
Yeah.
That's for me the camaraderie of.
Yeah, you're right.
Knowing you're doing hard shit.
Yeah.
And doing it on a daily basis, and everybody struggles.
Yeah.
In every aspect of it, man.
Well, you never get good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, nobody thinks they're good at jiu-jitsu. There's not. If you ask one person if they're good at jiu-jitsu and they say yes, they're a white belt that's been on the mat 10 times, and they're good at jiu-jitsu. But that's just not the way it is. Everyone's. Yeah.
No, but you're right. That the camaraderie is definitely the best part. Without jiu-jitsu, you know, I wouldn't have any friends.
100%.
No, I mean, you're hard to get along with. Quite, you know.
No, but the reality is, you know, once you get out of high school or college, you know, how do you meet people? You meet people you work with, but if you have a miserable job and, you know, you don't really like the people you work with, you have nothing in common with them. With jiu-jitsu, and you can talk about jiu-jitsu.
100%, man. 100%. Totally agree. Philly, what's your favorite part about jiu-jitsu?
I like what he said about when it kind of comes together and it just happens after drilling. 100%. I like the camaraderie. I've noticed my favorite thing changes every single day to what I'm currently thinking about jiu-jitsu.
You know what your favorite thing is about jiu-jitsu?
All of it.
Lapel chokes.
So that too.
It's your favorite.
That,
Loves the lapel chokes.
yeah.
Loves them.
Yeah, like
Oh, you lapel choked Elijah.
Kasha. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he
And to
did.
go back to the camaraderie, though, he walked up to me right
He said
before.
he was trying to. He told me he was
Yeah.
trying to choke you from inside your closed guard, and I said, "What are you doing that for?"
Phil immediately armbarred him. Immediately. Like, it was I'll show you the video after. It was super slick, like very slick armbar, very fast. You know, but yeah. Yeah, it was a mistake.
It's hilarious.
But he walked up to me, and then we got to talking before. And again, just super cool guy. Like
Yeah,
he's,
Elijah's awesome. He's old enough to be your dad, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you
Doesn't
feel good that you.
Beat up on an old man.
I think
He-
Elijah's
dude, I'm
40s.
48. He does that to me. What do you do? I mean, what do you want?
Unbelievable. So, it's always something with you.
So in closing, Boomer, is there anything out there? Anything? First off, folks, if you don't know Toro BJJ, best shirts are all of our BJJ campaign shirts. Boomer did a phenomenal job on those. We're going to talk to him afterwards about making gi patches. So they do all kinds of custom embroidery, custom shirts, custom rash guards with, they use sublimation.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So that's whenever you have dry ice, so it goes from a solid state to a gas state. That's sublimate, right? But no, but so they do quality processes so that their their logos and whatever they do, if they do custom logos on your rash guards, they don't come off.
Yeah, it's a comfortable shirt too, because a lot of them get that printed on, and you can like feel what's printed on, and that sucks.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah, agree. And so support Toro BJJ. Go to their website.
You can go to cageside.com, CAGESIDE, cageside.com. You can go to torobjj.com. It'll take you to the same site.
Got you, Cage. That's what I always looked up, Toro BJJ. So yeah, anything closing that we kind of forgot to ask you about that you think you want to share?
I want to thank my wife and kids. I want to thank all of the sponsors of Toro Cup, because if it wasn't for the sponsors, we wouldn't continue to do it. The sponsors are terrific, and we really try to acknowledge our sponsors. Every single Toro Cup poster that we make has sponsors on it. You look at these other promotions out there, and they've got like all these sponsors, and they're not even putting them out. They're just like, oh yeah, we got money from them, so well, don't
It's
forget
for those guys.
Yeah, forget about the next time. It's like, I want sponsors, and I want them for all the Toro Cups.
And you promote it, I think, really well. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
different Facebook groups. Every Facebook group I'm in, I see you guys posting in, and then posting on your own pages and the nice layout cards.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, Bagels does a great job with it. All the competitors do a really good job. So it's a lot of people working together to make Toro Cup
I
happen.
think those smoke machines with the disco balls for when they walk out is
Spectacular.
really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
really good touch. Really good touch. Hard to breathe sometimes in there, but it's really good touch.
We like to start Toro Cup early. This one we're actually starting earlier than usual, 10 a.m. We want to get out of here early, 5 p.m. or so. Night events don't appeal to me because I like to go to bed at 9, even on Fridays.
That's what I'm talking about.
9 o'clock.
You and Phil,
oh,
peas in a pod,
God.
man.
I try to
You
watch
and
these
Phil.
UFCs with him, and
Oh.
it's like 11:30, and I'm like, I've had enough.
Yeah, I haven't watched the UFC live in probably 5 years. I used to watch them all, but
It's too late.
I need to get up in the morning to do stuff. I don't want to sleep all Sunday. So,
That's great.
look, listen, kids. Early to bed.
I'm older than you, for God's sakes.
Early
You
to
can't say
rise
kids.
makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Nothing good happens after 10 p.m. at night. Go to sleep.
We'll do some good work after. Just kidding. Those are our wise words. So that's the way is to support Cageside and Toro BJJ. We support it wholeheartedly. We will for as long as we can.
One other thing I'd like to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool local companies, and I may be missing out on some. But there's, if you live in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Honey Athletics, these guys are terrific. They put out really good products. They support the sport. Senor Geese, again, they support a lot of people. And then there's Joe Toon, they're out of Virginia, and they support a lot of guys. And if you guys can think of any other brands locally that I'm missing, DeFirma Kimono Company out of Virginia. I just see so many people with, people own 10 Ds, and not one of them is Toro or Honey or DeFirma or Senor or Joe Toon. I'm like, I need to support some of the local guys, because these are the companies that are supporting the sport locally. So, man, next time you need a gi, I mean, it may cost a little bit more than the one that you're finding on sale on BJJ HQ, but support the company that's supporting the community.
And I love that because a lot of people that have their own business, and such as you, they have that famine thought of not everybody can make it, and we want to make sure ours is best. But just by repping those different folks, you sew geese too, quite high quality geese. So yeah, I love that. That's really thoughtful.
There's plenty of business to go around.
Yeah,
It really is.
of course
And
there is.
the companies I mentioned are all owned by people that I know, that I've met, and they're, you know, just good folks who genuinely love jiu-jitsu. They're not like, yeah, I'm starting a gi company, I'm going to make a killing. No, they're doing it because they
Said no
love
one.
it.
Said no one. So thank you for that, Boomer. And thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know, we
Thank
hope
you.
everybody enjoyed it.
Just so everybody out there knows, Jeff and Phil got to our warehouse, and I immediately put them to work moving 27 horse mat stalls. These things are 100 pounds each. They're large and bulky, and these guys jumped in, helped us move them with smiles on their faces. Just, these are good dudes.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. We're here to help in any way.
My wife was like, an hour before you guys came, she's like, think of some way that we can move these mats. And I'm like,
Yeah, let's get a crane. How about that? Can we go rent a crane? They were. I didn't know they were 100 pounds. I didn't.
They're just
It was
so
shockingly heavy.
They were heavy.
I was kind of surprised.
not only heavy, just so awkward.
Yeah. Well, you know, the reason I wanted to do it, honestly, to be jacked for the camera on the YouTube video.
Yeah. It was
that.
a good workout.
You know, yeah,
good
for
workout for sure.
And Phil, tell them how they can support the podcast.
Facebook.com/BJJ Campaign Podcast.
Yes.
We're on Instagram, Twitter,
Oh yeah.
BJJCampaignPodcast.com.
Oh, yeah.
Buy a Toro made podcast t-shirt with the logo on it.
Yes.
Super nice. I'm pointing to it if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube and watch a bunch of cool videos.
And kudos to Philly. He got the new website up and he's a website wizard. He got the new website up and running. The shirts, seamless. We tested it out to purchase. Seamless way of purchasing the shirts online. If you see us here at Toro Cup and want to get a shirt, let us know. We're going to have them in the car.
Bring them in.
Bring them in. Okay, we're going to bring them in. We'll even cut out the shipping for you. But yeah, so thanks for that hard work on the website getting the
Jeff
shirts.
will actually deliver the shirts to you personally, no matter where you live.
In a bow tie and assless chaps. Just kidding. I will not do that. But so, you know, for those of you out there listening, if you're not doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it, man. Me, Boomer, Phil, we choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it and roll. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game than feeling the growth. That's time on the mat, we put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.